Good morning, children. We begin with Standard 6 English, Unit 5, Part 1. The fifth lesson is A Different Kind of School. So, before starting, let's see what this chapter tries to tell us. Do you know these words? If you don't, find out their meanings. Meanings of which words? Bandage, crutch, cripple, honor, misfortune, system. Look at the pictures in this unit and guess in what way this school may be different from other schools. So, the name of your lesson is A Different School. Different school means we all go to the same school, but this school there is something which is different from the normal schools. And so now, when we read this lesson, we will know about which school this lesson is trying to say about. So let's start. I had heard a great deal about Miss Beam's school, but not till last week did the chance come to visit it. Now, this writer is trying to say that he had heard about Miss Beam's school. This is the different school which he had heard about, and it was under the control of Miss Beam. So now he had only heard about it, and now last week he got a chance to visit that school. When I arrived there was no one in sight but a girl of about 12. Her eyes were covered with a bandage. Now, when he reached there, the writer reached there, he saw no one, but only there was a girl of about 12 years old, and there was a little boy who was holding her hand, and her eyes were covered with a bandage. And she was being led carefully between the flower beds by a little boy who was about 4 years younger. She stopped, and it looked like she asked him who had come. He seemed to be describing me to her. Then they passed on. So, when the writer reached there in the school, he saw no one but only a 12-year-old girl who had a bandage on her eyes, and a little boy who was younger to her 4 years. He held her hand and took her carefully between the flower beds in the garden. And when they were walking, it seems that the girl stopped and asked that little boy if someone was there in the garden. And that little boy started describing this writer who was there present in the garden in front of them. He described him, and then both of them went away. Miss Beam was all that I had expected. Middle aged, full of authority, yet kindly and understanding. Her hair was beginning to turn grey, and she had the kind of plump figure that is likely to be comforting to a homesick child. I asked her some questions about her teaching methods, which I had heard were simple. So the writer had heard about Miss Bean, and he had just made a figure in his mind that what type of a lady Miss Beam was. So when he reached there and he saw her, he found her to be the same as what he had expected. She was a middle age, means around 50s, and she was very authoritative, and she was also kind and understanding. And her hair was turning grey, were becoming white, greyish, and she had a very plumpy figure. She was a little fat, and she was very understanding. So she used to comfort the children. Homesick children means the children who wanted to go back home, who did not like to be in an hostel. So they feel to go back home because they are missing their parents. So she was a very comfortable and understanding nature. So the Writer asked a few questions about her teaching methods in the school because he had heard that they are very simple methods of teaching Miss Beam used in her school. No more than is needed to help them to learn how to do things. Simple spellings, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and writing. The rest is done by reading to them and by interesting talks during which they have to sit still and keep their hands quiet. They are practically no other lessons. So Miss Bim said that nothing much was taught in the school. Everything was as normal as other schools. They were taught spellings and addition and subtraction and multiplication and writing. And the rest was done by reading to them, and other interesting talks were given to them during which they all sit still and they listen. And there were practical lessons, and there were no other anything extra taught to them. The real aim of this school is not so much to teach thought as to teach thoughtfulness, kindness to others, and being responsible citizens. Now, the aim of this school was not to make them bookish. It was to teach them that how they can think about others. Not only think for themselves, but they think about others, be kind to others, and how to be responsible about their work and how they can become a very good citizen. Look out of the window a minute, will you? So Miss Beam told the writer when he was talking to her and questioning her, she told him to look out of the window for a minute. I went to the window which overlooked a large garden and a playground at the back. What do you see? Miss Beam asked. So the writer, he peeped through the window and he saw that there was a large garden at the back, and there was a playground. So Miss Beam asked him that what can you see through this window? I see some very beautiful grounds, I said, and a lot of jolly children. It pains me, though, to see that they are not all so healthy and active looking. When I came in, I saw one poor little girl being led about. She has some trouble with her eyes. Now I can see two more with the same difficulty. And there's a girl with a crutch watching the others at play. She seems to be a hopeless cripple. So the writer, when Miss Beam asked him that what can he see through the window, so he said that I can see a beautiful garden at the back of the window, through the window. And then he said that I can see few children also who are very happy. But then he said that I feel a little sorry for them. Why? Because they are not as healthy and active looking. Why were they not healthy? Because he said that when I came here into this school, I saw one girl. She had some problem with her eyes as she could not see, and she was being led by another child. And now he can see that there are two more who have such difficulties, and he can see one more girl with a crutch is that baisakhi, those lame people they use for the support to walk, and she is watching the other children playing because she is lame, she cannot walk. So he says that I feel pity for these children. Miss Beam laughed. Oh no, she said, she's not really lame. This is only her lame day. The others are not blind either. It is only their blind day. I must have looked very surprised, for she laughed again. So Miss Beam, she started laughing when the writer told about such children, and that he was very sorry for those children because they were little, had some difficulties in walking and seeing. So Miss Beam laughed and she said that they are not such type of children. The girl whom you can see with the crutch, it is a lame day for her, and the girl whom you saw with a bandage on her eyes was a blind day for her. So the writer was very surprised when he saw that Miss Beam was laughing on what he had said. This is very important part of our system to make our children appreciate and understand misfortune. We make them share in misfortune too. So now Miss Beam explained the way of her teaching in this school. She said that this is a part of our teaching. We make the children aware of the difficulties and make them appreciate uh, about the other people who are not as normal as us. So they should know how to respect those other people. So they also have to go through those difficulties what these people like lame and blind people must be facing. So whatever difficulties these people are facing, the same difficulties even these normal children had to face. Why? So that they could realize and understand that how difficult it is to live in that situation. So this was done. Each term, each child has one blind day, one lame day, one deaf day, one injured day, and one dumb day. So, in every semester, every child has to have this one of the days during that semester, which is lame day, means you cannot walk properly, you need to use a crutch. A blind day, so you have to tie a band-aid on your eyes. Then a deaf day means you need to keep your mouth shut the whole day. An injured day means you have a plaster somewhere on your hand or your legs. Or a blind day and a deaf day. Deaf also where you cannot hear anything. So all these days each child has to face in one of the semesters. During the blind day, their eyes are bandaged absolutely, and they are on their honor not to peep. Now, on the blind day, their eyes are bandaged. Now, they have to be honest to themselves that they should not see anything when their eyes are closed. As normally, children would like to just open their bandage and see what is here and there, but you have to be honest to yourself that you are blind. The bandage is put on overnight so they wake blind. So when is this bandage put on those child? When they have their blind day? Since night, when you go to sleep, their eyes are bandaged. Why so? Because when you wake up in the morning, right, the first thing that you have to do in the morning is you won't be able to see. Your eyes are bandaged as soon as you open your eyes in the morning. This means that they need help with everything. So now if their eyes are bandaged since the morning they wake up, this means what? That they need help in everything what they have to do in that day. Other children are given the duty of helping them and leading them about. So if one child is blind and the eyes are bandaged, so one child is given the duty to help that child the whole day. He has to help in that person, that girl or a boy, the whole day in whatever he has to do. They all learn so much this way, both the blind and the helper. Why is this done, that one is blind and one is the helper, one is the lame and another is the helper? So that both can learn the situation. The lame will also have difficulties in doing everything, and the helper also will have difficulties in helping that person out. So both are learning at this stage, even the person who is not able to do and even the person who is helping. So this is the way of teaching the children the misfortune, the people who are misfortune, who are blind, lame, deaf, what difficulties they are facing, and the way when we are helping, we are teaching the others the difficulty of even helping them. In this way, both the children were learning something from it. There is no misery about it, Miss Beam continued. Everyone is very kind, and it is really something of a game. Before the day is over, though, even the most thoughtless child realizes what misfortune is. So, Miss Beam tries to say that this is nothing difficult for any child. Every child is kind to the other, and it is a type of a game that they are enjoying, and even they are learning at the same time. And by the day is over, even the child who is thoughtless about another person learns and realizes about what misfortune is. So by the end of the day, the child gets the lesson and he learns that what people are facing difficulties, how these misfortune people are facing difficulties. The blind day is, of course, really the worst. But some of the children tell me that the dumb day is the most difficult. We cannot bandage the child's mouths, so they really have to exercise their willpower. Come into the garden and see for yourself how the children feel about it. Then Miss Beam said that all the children, they come and they share their experience about that day. So the children say that the blind day was very difficult. Why? Because they cannot see. And some say that the dumb day was very difficult. So why the dumb day was difficult? Because the child's mouth cannot be bandaged throughout the day. So here you need a very strong willpower that today you don't have to talk, means you don't have to talk, and you have to keep your mouth shut the whole day. So this needs your willpower. Then Miss Beam told the writer that you come along with me into the garden and you see for yourself that how the children feel about these days. Miss Beam led me to one of the band-aid girls. Here's a gentleman come to talk to you, said Miss Beam, and left us. So Miss Beam took the writer to the garden and she took him to one of the girls whose eyes were bandaged, means was acting as a blind person. She went and she introduced the writer to that girl that someone is there to meet you, and she left the writer and that girl alone and she went away. Miss Beam left. Don't you ever peep? I asked the girl. Oh no, she exclaimed. That would be cheating. But I had no idea it was so awful to be blind. You can't see a thing. You feel you are going to be hit by something every moment. It's such a relief just to sit down. So the writer asked the girl that don't you peep for even a few minutes or something like that? So that girl said, no, I never do that. If I do that, that would be cheating. Then she says that she had no idea that blind people must be facing so many difficulties, that to be blind is very worst. Why? Because each and every moment there is a fear in her that she will fall somewhere, because she might be hit by a stone or she might fall somewhere. She's always got that fear in her mind because she cannot see, and everything has become very difficult for her. She only likes to sit down in one place because she is blind. So she prefers that if she sits in one place, it would be better for her. Are your helpers kind to you? I asked. So the writer asked her that whoever's helping you, is that person very kind to you? Fairly, but they are not as careful as I shall be when it is my turn. Those that have been blind already are the best helpers. It's perfectly ghastly not to see. I wish you'd try. So the writer asked her that her helpers were kind to her. So she said that they are, but they are not very perfect in helping. She says the children who were already blind earlier and they have to help and they've got the turn of helping now, those children are much more better than the ones who don't know how blind people feel. So now she says that I hope I it would be perfect that even one day even you try that how it faces the difficulties of becoming blind. So even one day even you try by tying a bandage on your eyes. So this girl was sitting somewhere. So the writer asks, "Shall I lead you anywhere?" I asked. So he asked, "Shall I help you? Do you want to go somewhere?" "Oh, yes," she said. "Let's go for a little walk. Only you must tell me about things. I shall be so glad when today is over. The other bad boys don't be half as bad as this. Having a leg tied up and hopping about on a crutch is almost fun, I guess. Having an arm tied up is a bit more troublesome because you can't eat without help and things like that." So that girl told yes to the writer and she said that let us go for a walk. But when we go for a walk, you have to tell me about everything what is around us. And then she started saying that being lame and tying your leg and jumping about with the crutch would be more fun. And if your hand is tied and you have to do everything with your one hand, she says that it would be more difficult because you need help in everything, like to eat and to do many of your other work. "I don't think I'll mind being deaf for a day, at least not much. But being blind is so frightening. My head aches all the time, just for worrying that I'll get hurt. Where are we now?" So she says that she won't mind to be deaf for one day. But she says being blind is very difficult. Why? Because she feels that anytime she will fall and her head keeps on paining because she cannot see. So she feels that this is the most awful day. "In the playground," I said. "We are walking towards the house." So the little girl asked the writer that where they were when they were walking and talking. So the writer said that they are in the playground and they are going towards the house. "Miss Beam is walking up and down the garden with a tall girl." "What is the girl wearing?" my little friend asked. So the writer told her that they are going towards the house and they are in the playground. And then he said that Miss Beam is walking there with a girl. She's a little tall girl. So that girl with the bandage who was with him asked her that what is that girl wearing? "A blue cotton skirt and a pink blouse." So that he said that the girl with whom Miss Beam is walking is wearing a cotton skirt and a pink blouse. "I think it's Millie," she said. "What color is her hair?" So she had bandage on her eyes, so she started asking different questions to the writer. That the girl in that cotton skirt and pink blouse, I think so, it is Millie. And then she still asked one more question, that what color her hair is. "Very light," I said. "Yes, that's Millie. She's the head girl." So he told the girl the color of her hair. Then she said, "Yes, it is Millie, and she's the head girl of this school." "There's an old man tying up roses," I said. "Yes, that's Peter. He's the gardener. He's hundreds of years older." And here comes a girl with curly red hair. She's on crutches. "That's Anita," she said. Now then the man, he started telling about everything what was around. He said that there was someone in the garden who was tying up the roses. So she said that yes, that was Peter, who's the gardener, and then another girl with curly red hair, and she was on crutches. Crutches means she was lame. So she said that that girl is Anita. So here you can see that girl with curly hair and she's on crutches. So this is what crutches are. That Baisakhi, that as I said. So she imagines that it is this girl Anita. And so we walked on. Gradually I discovered I was 10 times more thoughtful than I ever thought I could be. So both that writer and that girl, they kept on walking in the garden, and the writer felt that he had some change in himself that day. He felt that even he had become more thoughtful than he had ever had been. I also realized that if I had to describe people and things to someone else, it made them more interesting to me. The writer felt that it was more interesting, and he learned something more when he had to explain to someone else about the surroundings. So he found it more interesting that day. When I finally had to leave, I told Miss Beam that I was very sorry to go. Ah, she replied, then there is something in my system after all. So now it was the time the writer had spent his whole day in Miss Beam's school, and even he thought that he had become more thoughtful than what he was earlier, and now it was time for him to go. So he told Miss Beam that he's feeling sorry to go today because he did not want to go. He did not feel like going from that school. So Miss Beam replied that this is only because of the simple system that she is teaching in this school. That is why even he is feeling so. She makes other children thoughtful about the others who are misfortune, who have difficulties in their lives, like the people who are blind, lame, deaf, and dumb, who are not as complete as we are. So we should also know what difficulties they are facing because they are not complete and they are misfortune. So children, I hope you have learnt a lesson from this story, that we should be thoughtful about everyone, not only those who are misfortune, but even the others. And we should always thank God that He has made us complete and we have everything in us. So we should not be proud of about what we are, and always help and be kind to the people who are misfortune. So children, the homework for you in this part is that you need to read this lesson at least once or twice. So thank you and have a nice day.